story is based on true events that have happened in the past, are happening right now all over the world, and will happen to you soon. While the story is terrifying, know that each of these disasters could have been prevented. This is how it will go down for most people, but it doesn't have to go down this way for you. In part 2, I will tell this story of what this family could have done to prevent all of these terrible things from happening. Let's say you are the perfect family living the American dream. Dad is an electrical engineer with a 6-figure salary. Mom is a nursing assistant, and they have 3 kids, 2 girls, 15 and 12, and a boy, 7. They have a cat named Fluffy and a dog named Betsy. They live in a nice home, in a nice neighborhood, and the value of their home is well above the mortgage they have on it. They have health insurance and 2 pension funds they contribute to. They also own a BMW, a minivan, a motorcycle, and a small powerboat in the garage. Week 1. One day, Mom drives to the local mall to pick up some groceries. The first thing she notices is that a quarter of the stores in the mall have shut down. When she starts shopping at the grocery store, she is shocked to see the price of a loaf of bread has gone from $2 to $5. Milk went from $3 a quart to $7.50 a quart, and ground hamburger went from $3 a pound to $9. All in all, her weekly grocery bill has more than doubled from last week. At dinner that night, Mom tells Dad about the rising cost of food, but Dad has some worrying news too. The company he works for is planning to lay off 20% of the workforce. Not to worry, Dad has seniority, and he won't be one of the employees that will lose their job. They turn on the TV and the nightly news tells them that the stock market is booming, but due to trade tariffs, the cost of living may go up by 3%. The next day, Dad gets the utility bill, and his jaw drops when he sees the monthly electrical bill has gone from $300 a month to $1,200. On the way to work, he stops at the gas station to fill up and is again shocked to see the cost of a gallon of gas has gone from $5 per gallon to $15 per gallon. It cost $400 just to fill up the tank. That night, Dad does a budget and realizes that their monthly expenses now exceed their income. They need to tighten the belt, and so the first thing to go is the eldest daughter's music lessons, then middle daughter's dance lessons, and also Junior's karate lessons. Dad cancels his membership at the tennis club, and Mom cancels her membership at the Pilates studio. Also, no eating lunch at the cafe, and no more coffees from Starbucks. To save on the electric and gas bills, they need to keep most of the lights turned off and the heat turned down. Everyone will need to wear a sweater in the house. Also, Mom and Dad will have to carpool to save on gas. Dad will drop Mom off at work and pick her up after he gets off work. The next day, Dad learns that the company plans to lay off another 30% of the workforce. Everyone at the office is tense and nervous. Dad still has seniority, but just to be on the safe side, he starts to send out his resume. What Dad doesn't know is that there are 50,000 other electrical engineers also sending out their resumes, and most would work for a lot less money than Dad is currently earning. Week 2. The next week, Mom goes to buy the groceries, but discovers that the mall is closed. She drives through town looking for a grocery store that's still in business, passing storefront after storefront that have been closed down, with plywood over the windows and for lease signs everywhere. She finally finds a store still open and goes inside. Half the shelves are empty, and bread now goes for $25 per loaf and milk at $50 a quart. Mom can barely afford a quarter pound of ground hamburger and a half a dozen packs of instant noodles. Mom also buys a couple of cans of cat food, figuring if she mixes it in with the noodles, no one will notice. At least it will be enough to feed the family for a few days.
Damn. Cat food. Hey, shalom, brother, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor as a due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakakadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel of God, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it be. Man. As in the days of Noah, this is a video that was actually uploaded or shared to the page. A brother had uploaded it to his page, and I shared it from his page. But basically, he's breaking down a scenario as pretty much the declining or the degradation of society, as you see it in the world we live in today, that's hunted by inflation, rising gas prices, mass hysteria, Slovakia, wars, rumors of wars, and the list goes on. But inflation is, I looked at a poll last week, they said 86% of the people are worried about inflation getting out of control, as is already at a 9% high. Okay, so you think of that, this is an all-time high in 40 years. They stated that inflation levels in the UK can reach up to 18 to 19%. Okay, which means the cost of living, the cost of food, okay, everything goes up, energy prices, etc. When you look at energy bills currently, you can clearly see that energy and the price of goods are going up, man, compared to what they were a few years ago, because these companies that are capitalizing off the pandemic, okay, and off people's misery, which is totally unjust. But, you know, this is an unjust society. We are dealing with unjust people and unjust ruler. Okay, this Edomite, okay, he doesn't know how to rule, but he rules with the iron fist. Okay, so basically this guy's breaking down a scenario of all hell getting ready to break loose, because the more you listen to this video, which I did share it in the community section, it gets crazy, man, because literally I believe their daughter died from a respiratory illness. You know, they went to the hospital. They literally had to park a mile down the block, and then when they went to the hospital, they got inside. It was completely chaotic, man. And this is a depiction of what society is gonna be like any day now. Okay, like the Lord said, he said, look, peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming upon them as a woman in travail. So, hey, man, like I always say, man, you know, hey, you living good one day, the next day it's a whole different society. Okay, one day people are going to wake up and it's going to be a totally different Babylon. And you can see it, man. Okay, they're getting ready to test the brain RFID chips. I believe it was November the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the 3rd or the 30th, but sometime next month it's going to go on display. The whole coming digital currency, the CBDC, all this stuff is happening at the right time. Okay, particular signs in the heavens, man. Inflation, the war in Ukraine. Found out that American troops have touched down on the border of Ukraine now. Okay, which is going to escalate that war between them and Russia. So, hey, man, we ain't got that long to go before this society completely falls. Okay, because everything seems to be so-called stable right now because they are hiding under QE. But regardless of that, I believe the feds are getting ready to raise the tax hikes again. So the band-aid that they're putting on the wound of this place is beginning to peel off, and you're going to start to see things for what it really is. You're going to start to see the cost of homes go up. Okay, like they say, it's a buyer's market right now, but it's not really a seller's market because nobody has the money to really buy anything. Nobody can, when you try to sell it, nobody has the money to really buy it. Okay, unless you're in a particular market or, you know, some ins and outs, or you have particular connections that you can get commissions. But I mean, the housing market, man, itself, that's not looking too good for the near future. So the time to buy or sell a house is probably now. While you still got chance, but other than that, man, everything is gonna start to collapse. Even the whole bank runs. You go and try to withdraw money from a bank. Now they asking you what you're gonna do with the money. Like who business is it? But nonetheless, this is like as in the days of Noah. Okay, when things are gonna get bad. Okay, people are not paying attention. They're too caught up in their own life and their own folly to even pay attention to what the hell is getting ready to go down. And it's gonna catch a lot of people off guard, starting with you, Negro and Latino and Native American first, because you're the biggest consumers that this society has to offer. Okay, you are the most heavy consumers here. So anyway, let's get a couple of precepts here. This is the book of 2 Peter 2:5. It says, "And spirit not the old world, but save Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly." Okay, so the Lord didn't spare the old world. So what make you think He's gonna spare an even more wicked world? Okay, especially when people are engaged in the men on men, women on women. Okay, all types of debauchery. Trannies can literally have meet and greets with your kids. I mean, out there, 2-3 years old, man, and your kid has to have a meet and greet with a Sesame Street character with a fur dick. It's crazy, man. Like they took $200,000 of taxpayers' money to fund schools and daycares to have these people to do halftime shows for kids, man. Okay, that's one reason why the Most High can take this place out. You see? It says, "In turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah to ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after shall live ungodly." So the example is written. Okay, this is the repercussions when you live wickedly. When you do X, Y, and Z, then ABC, this is what happens. Okay, when you live like a bunch of degenerates, then the Most High is going to start attacking your economy. Okay, for one thing, the food supply. That's the big thing that's going to drive people into frenzy, because as he said that it started off with 20%. Then another 30%, that's half the company right there that got laid off within a matter of a week. You see? So you see how quick this is going to be? It's going to be hella quick. It ain't going to be no long drawn out process, because we're in the drawn out process now. It's being drawn out now, but when it hits, it's going to hit, man. Okay, one day I'm going to wake up and they're like, "Look, man, we ain't got no work for y'all." But these be the same people out of their pride. "Oh, yeah, man, we've never laid off. We probably laid off one out of 30 years, but we ain't going to lay off." In the back of my mind, I'm like, you people are stupid as hell. Talking about you ain't going to lay off. I'm like, you getting ready to lay everybody off. Furlough, whatever. Fucking, I'll take a 16-week furlough pay. Resting and doing the work of the Most High. I'll take it. But regardless of that, things are going to start to decline, because once the food goes out of the picture, the people lose their mind. When the jobs are threatened and their livelihoods are threatened, that's when people start to lose their mind, and they start to bug out. That's when they go house to house, door to door. Once the food is gone, then that's when the crime starts. You see what I'm saying? And this is exactly what's getting ready to happen here in America any day now. All right. And it says here, "And deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked." Man, and that conversation goes into conduct. Okay. It says, "For that righteous man dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds." And this is the spirit we come in. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just at work today, man. I was like, man, these fucking people, they just, like, I don't want to be around these people, man. Like, damn, Lord, how long? You get in your antsy moments when you don't want to deal. You just like, don't say nothing to me, man. I kind of had the poker face today, man. I'm like, look, I ain't got time for it, man. You say what you got to say and keep it pushing. Try not to be like that, but, you just got the moments when you just don't really care to even suffer these people. Because it's all vanity at the end of the day. All right? So this is the book of Matthew 24. And I'm going to start at verses 37. It says, "As in the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be." Because remember, when Noah was building the ark, he was yelling and prophesying about a flood to come. Okay? Which, speaking on a flood and prophesying, telling the people, look, man, a flood. But they was looking at him like, nigga, you bugging. And we never heard of such thing. There's no such thing as a flood. We never even had rain before. Hell you talking about, nigga? And then what happened? The Most High sent the flood, and it took their ass out. And it's the same thing now. We warn you of a flood in the form of martial law, in the form of economic depression, in the form of a food shortage, famine, form of inclement weather, earthquakes, okay, riots in various places, and ultimately who is it?
Oh, sorry. Wrong house. Wait, right?
Who are you looking for?
My mom.
Your mom. What? Yeah, you got the wrong house.
Sorry.
That was weird. That's weird. Anyway, it's correct. Anyway, what I was saying. How the hell you don't know where your mama live at? But anyway, it says here, but as in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Right, because people, they all engrafted in this life. I want to get married, I want to have kids, and all this other stuff. And, there's nothing wrong with those things, but it's a time and season for those things, man. And the fortunate part for men that's in the faith, yeah, we have brothers, had women, kids or whatsoever, man. But, you have to be very circumspect on what you do in this day and age because it can be a liability. You know what I'm saying? And that can offend a lot of people. You have certain women that want families, but it's, you're just out of season, especially when you balancing the plate. It's like, okay, it's a good thing, but, it's just gotta wait on it. But unfortunately, a lot of you people, you're engaging in this type of lifestyle. You're not looking for the impending danger. Why add more hell to your situation than what you need to? You don't need to add all that stress. But like it says in Esdras, there's going to be a certain amount of souls that have to be on the planet Earth anyway. But regardless of that, you don't just deliberately do things when they can be avoided. We have all that time in the kingdom, and you're going to have faith in that because in the kingdom, we're going to have families. We're going to have women, we're going to have children. We're going to have a family structure. We're going to have time to live out our shit. We ain't going to never die. So we're going to have time to do the things we enjoy. We're going to have time to enjoy our families. Okay, there ain't going to be no she's at work, you at work, you see them 30% of the time, she's tired, Ain't going to be none of that shit. But on this side, it's folly, man, And that's why it says here, and until the day Noah entered the ark and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay, so hey, man, and being in that complacent mindset will get you caught off guard here. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful on how you move in this faith, man, because Yahweh Shem Shai, man, hey, he can't take it for granted. If the Lord give you a kid and a wife, then hey, beautiful. But if not, then hey, it is what it is. You just gotta just ride it out until you do what you gotta do. But this is the book of Habakkuk 3:2. It says, "O Yahweh, I've heard thy speech and was afraid, O Lord. But revive thy work in the midst of the years, and in the midst of the years make known in wrath." Remember mercy, okay? And mercy, because the planet Earth, man, what's getting ready to happen is going to be merciless. Okay, it's going to be straight up, just straight anarchy everywhere. And the only mercy that's going to be is to the men that's on the ark. Okay, it's to the men of the Lord. That's going to be the only mercy that the Most High is going to extol to his elect. Okay, he's not going to bestow mercy to your mama, to your father, to your grandmother, to your brother, your sister, if they're not in this thing. To your woman, if she's been a demon, she's not going to get any mercy. Maybe through you, but other than that, that's a very slim chance. Okay, so, hey, remember mercy during wrath, like it tells you during judgment, remember the Lord's mercies. Okay, but nonetheless, man, we're going to need it because it's getting ready to get that fucking bad out here. Like, it's going to be a cold winter, you can tell now. Okay, the temperatures they're normal for this time, but they're kind of abnormal because you got 1 minute it's warm, next minute it's hot, it's cold, and just the telling of the weather, you can tell that it's going to be pretty cold. It's going to be a pretty graphic winter, pretty long winter. But anyway, next precept here, let's go to the book of Ezekiel, 7th chapter, and this is a good point. Okay, this is the point of Ezekiel 7, and I'm going to start at verses 11. It says, "Violence is risen up into the rod of wickedness." Okay, all of the deplorability, the wickedness of the planet Earth, man. Okay, you hot girl summers, man, twerking on headlights, stopping at the red lights, twerking on all that shit, man. The Most High is getting ready to put all that to put all that to pasture. It's getting ready to put that to flight. It says here, none of them should remain, nor of their multitude, nor of any of theirs, neither shall there be welling for them. It says, for the time has come that the day draweth near. Okay, it's not going to be any welling because people ain't going to have time. They're going to be trying to save their own lives. Okay, people are going to try to run and get to safety for fear. Okay, you know, you ain't going to be able to mourn your brother or sister because shit, man, you're going to be trying to get out of hell and hot water yourself. You know, and on top of that, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be by themselves, and a lot of people are going to get separated, man. Then you got to remember, people are going to be getting put in detention centers left and right. So it's going to be just fucking hell all over the place. And it says here, the time it says, nor any of theirs, neither shall there be welling for them. But the time is come, and the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon the multitude thereof, man. Okay, so it says, let not the buyer rejoice. You know, people that's buying vehicles and you investing in companies and all this other stuff. You're not going to rejoice in that. Why? Because you're not going to have the particular means to do so. Okay, because the minute you invest in something, then all of a sudden it gets taken away, it gets confiscated. Like when you go further into the video, basically, man, they fucking what do you call it? The house tax payments went up to I think they owed $9,000 in back taxes on their house. Then like a week later, then they got an eviction notice. They had to get up out of their house. Okay, expenses, etc. The gas bill went up to like $800-900. You know, and that's gonna be the reality here in a little while. But it says, for the seller shall not return to that which is sold. It says, although they were yet alive, for the vision is touching the whole multitude, which should not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. So, hey, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rakakwadash. And with that, Shalom and Abba.
When she exits the store, she is confronted by dozens of women and children begging for food. Mom rushes past the beggars with her small supply of groceries and notices groups of men lurking in the parking lot. Mom ducks down between the cars and carefully makes her way back to her car, gets in and speeds away with men running down the road after her. That night, there is a banging on the front door. It's their neighbor Bob from 3 doors down. He's begging for food. He tells them he's been let off and his family hasn't eaten in 3 days. He's wild-eyed and desperate. Mom scoops a bowl full of noodles and cat food into a baggie and gives it to him. "That's all we can spare, I'm sorry," she says. Later that night, they hear a gunshot. Bob has committed suicide. Dad decides they need to sell the motorcycle, the boat, and the extra car. But everyone is selling, and no one has money to buy. He sells the $15,000 motorcycle for $200. The car fetches $250, and no one wants the boat. Not enough money to even buy a week's worth of food. The only thing that still has some value is gold and silver. They go through Mom's jewelry case to find anything with gold or silver in it. Mom hands Dad her engagement and wedding rings. Dad decides they also need to cash in their retirement plans. The jewelry and retirement funds should last them 2 months. Week 3. That Monday, Mom finds out she has been let go. The hospital where she worked can no longer afford to keep such a large staff on hand. Mom waits in the hospital cafeteria that no longer serves food all day for her husband to come and pick her up. The next day, Dad arrives at work to find his co-workers gathered outside the front doors that had been locked with a sign in the window that simply said, "Out of business." No one was even allowed in to clean out their desks. There will be no severance pay and no pension. That night, Dad called